you have to address every little thing you have buried from your childhood to your teenagehood to your adulthood. You have to address those things. I had to really address that story I kept telling myself of why I don't think I come first, or why I don't think I am not deserving of the love that I give to others. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back and happy Valentine's. This is Valentine's week. I hope you guys are feeling in love, and I hope you're feeling loved and appreciated. I am definitely feeling loved and appreciated by myself and by the people around me, and I hope that's it for you as well. In line with what's happening, I am going to talk about how to date yourself and fall in love with yourself. I just had this thought of, talking about how you get to love yourself and how you get to loving your life really, and taking time to love you fully and totally, fall in love with yourself. And I thought this would make a nice episode for us this week, now that it's Valentine's week. So I do have my notes here as usual because I don't want to forget any point. If you're new to my channel, my name is Wangui. I create self-care and lifestyle content. On this channel, we cook, we clean, we talk about self-care, we talk about falling in love with ourselves, we talk about taking time to understand ourselves, learn ourselves, cultivate self-awareness, self-improvement, all of that. If that's something you relate to and would love to hear more about, then make sure you subscribe and make sure your post notifications are turned on so that next time I have a video up, you do not miss any of those. How to date yourself and fall in love with yourself. One, why do you need to date yourself and fall in love with yourself? It's really important to date yourself and cultivate love within yourself, because the relationship you have with yourself is the most important relationship. I know, and growing up and even in our society, we are not really taught about cultivating relationships with ourselves, especially as women. We are taught to take care of everybody else. We are taught to love our husbands, love our kids, love our parents, take care of our siblings, all of that, but they rarely talk about what you need to do to fall in love with yourself, what you need to do to build a relationship with yourself. The relationship you have with yourself really determines what kind of relationships you have with other people, and then that in turn spills to all your relationships. If you have a bad relationship with yourself, you're not going to have a good relationship with your parents, you're not going to have a good relationship with your significant other, and this is why it's important. So that should be the reason why you want to date yourself and fall in love with yourself, because one, the relationship you have with yourself is really important, and number two, because the relationship you get to build with yourself determines how the other relationships in your life pan out. Okay, before I get into how to date yourself and how to fall in love with yourself, I wanted to talk about why you might feel uncomfortable falling in love with yourself. The first reason why you might feel uncomfortable falling in love with yourself and dating yourself is societal views. Society does not pay attention to the relationships we build with ourselves. It really pays attention to the ones we have with other people. So sometimes you might feel like, I am doing too much, am I trying too hard, I'm not supposed to be really putting myself first. I need to first think about my kids, I need to think about my family, my husband, my siblings, my parents, and it's really messed up, to say the least. It's really messed up, because how am I going to show up for all these other people if I haven't really shown up for myself, right? The other reason why you might feel uncomfortable loving yourself or dating yourself is your own limiting beliefs. You do not think you're worthy of your own love. And that is so painful. I have been there myself, and I have felt like, I don't deserve to do nice things for myself. Why do I think I need that? Why do I think I need to get myself flowers? Why? What have I done? Am I really that good of a person? And those limiting beliefs can keep you stuck for a very long time if you don't go back and address them. One of the things I addressed in therapy, when I did therapy years ago, video was about what the story I keep telling myself about love, the story I keep telling myself about why I don't deserve some things. And this is because, you know, I have been taught, or I grew up knowing that everybody else comes first, you come last. You can deal with your issues at the end of the day. First, you need to think about your colleagues, your work, your family, your mother, father, sister, brother, all of that, and you can now deal with yourself much later. And I had to work through those limiting beliefs. I had to really address that story I kept telling myself of why I don't think I come first, or why I don't think I am not deserving of the love that I give to others, even because I am such a loving person. And I say that with my chest because I give love freely, but I can only do that if I love myself. I can only love authentically and fully if I love myself. So I had to really work through those limiting beliefs and change my mindset and really go deeper and figure out why I thought I wasn't deserving of that love. The other reason you might feel uncomfortable dating yourself or falling in love with yourself is the fear of dealing with problems you might have buried. You might have made some mistakes in your past and you feel like you do not want to address them because these are heavy mistakes. These are things that set you back. These are things that, you know, spoiled your relationships with other people. These are things that, you know, hindered your success or still do. And sometimes you don't want to go there, because let me tell you guys, for you to fully love yourself and for you to fully date yourself and soak in that moment and soak in that season, you have to address every little thing you have buried from your childhood to your teenagehood to your adulthood. You have to address those things. You have to go back and forgive the people that did you wrong. You have to go back and ask for forgiveness. You know, you have to go back and show yourself kindness for things that you did when you didn't know how to do those things better. You know, you have to really go deeper and have conversations with yourself and start believing that, yes, you know, I might have made that mistake. That's my past, and I acknowledge that it was there and that was me, and I am going to deal with all these things, and I'm going to talk about all these things with myself so that I can hold space for them and so that I can start feeling them and move away from them. So you might feel uncomfortable because you have some things that happened in your past or that just happened that you're not comfortable with and you don't want to deal with. The other reason why you might feel uncomfortable dating yourself and falling in love with yourself is self-judgment. I have gone through this. When I started my self-love, self-care, self-improvement journey, I used to feel like, oh my god, I'm doing too much. Who do I think I am? Why do I think I need to be doing all these things? What have I done? Like, do I even deserve these things? I used to judge myself so harshly that I would just keep going back. Like, I would just try, keep falling, try again, keep falling. But eventually I was able to understand that actually nobody even cares. Nobody even cares whether you're taking time to journal. Well, there are people that will appreciate you for journaling and for dealing with the things that you have and for processing your feelings and thoughts, but that's just it. Nobody really cares about what you're doing in your house. When I am making myself a nice meal and taking my pamper sessions on Sunday and writing myself love letters, that's me and my me time, and you know, the things that make me happy and the things that make me feel like I am loving myself. Those are not things that other people get to see even, and even if they get to see, because I am online and I talk about all these things and I share a lot about falling in love with yourself and loving yourself and taking care of yourself, I don't really pay attention to how the other people think about what I am doing. All I care about is I'm doing these things and I'm staying consistent with these things because they feed a part of my soul that has lacked love for so long, and now that it's time to give that part that love, I am going to do it. So self-judgment can derail your progress in self-love and self-improvement, but you really have to deal with it. So now that we have talked talked about all the things that could be hindering your self-love, self-dating, solo dating experiences and era. We're now going to talk about how to date yourself. So I have a few tips. Well, not a few. I have quite a number of tips on how to date yourself, and then we're just going to quickly talk about this because I know I have touched on this in my previous videos. So how do you date yourself? You date yourself by one, prioritizing self-care. Self-care is the single-handedly thing that will deal with all those limiting beliefs, that will deal with all that self-judgment that you have. There's a quote I shared yesterday. Let me actually read this quote for you guys. I shared it yesterday on my stories. This is the quote I wanted to share. With every act of self-care, your authentic self gets stronger and the critical, fearful mind gets weaker. Every act of self-care is a powerful declaration. I am on my side. I am on my side. Each day I am more and more my own side. That's a quote by Susan Weisberry that I found online and I had to share yesterday. But yeah, that's basically it. When you prioritize your self-care, you're meeting your authentic self. As you do it over and over, you get to learn so much about yourself, and it's like spending quality time with yourself and dating yourself and taking time to understand, what do I like, what do I not like, what makes me happy, what doesn't make me happy. The other point that I have on this is pay attention to your physical and mental well-being. This ties back to our self-care point, but taking care of your body, taking care of your mental health is definitely a way to date yourself and fall in love with yourself. I scream and shout a lot about journaling, but it's because it's the one thing that has consistently helped me cope with stress, cope with depression, cope with anxiety, cope with all these tiny little feelings that I don't even know what they are. Journaling has really helped me. If you're new to journaling, please watch this video that I shared on here. It has all the tips and tricks for beginners, including the benefits of journaling and how you can get to do it and reap the benefits that come with that. Yeah, but journaling really helps. If for you journaling is difficult and you deal with your mental stress, or you keep up with your mental well-being by taking walks, then take your walks. If it means dancing in the house, then make sure you're dancing. If it means calling a friend, then make sure you're calling your friends, calling your family, and all of that. The other point on how you date yourself is by extending your self-kindness. We are our worst enemies, and I say this as someone that does this a lot. I actually do criticize myself a lot, and to some extent it's because I live in my own little bubble. I live alone. I am alone, so sometimes I am my own teacher and my own student. I tend to criticize myself a lot, but I am learning to extend grace and kindness to myself. If I can't do something, and if I am struggling with something, then I ask for help. If I am feeling tired, then I take guilt-free rest. If I feel overwhelmed, then I take a break. I am learning to, extend the grace I extend to other people. And most times when I struggle to do that, when I struggle to extend grace, I usually ask myself, if my friend was going through this, what would I do? What would I do? If my friend was going through a hard time, what would I do for them? Then I do that for myself. So that's a tip for you. If you feel like it's hard for you to extend grace to yourself, ask yourself, if someone in my life that I love so much is going through such a situation, how would I encourage them? What would I do to help them feel better? Do I tell them nice words? Do I send them flowers? Do I cook them a meal? Do I dance with them? Do I send them a loving message? Then you do those exact things to yourself. Distractions are here with us, and they are everything. They can be the TV, they can be the radio, they can be that music that you love listening to, because you're buying these things that you don't want to work through and you don't want to really meet yourself. So sometimes you have to go through that journey of getting rid of all the distractions in your life. Maybe you need a few months single, like me. Maybe you need to stay away from men and really deal with why you attract a certain kind of men. Maybe you need to isolate yourself for a month from everyone else so that you can meet yourself and understand why you do things the way that you do them. Maybe you need a mental health day where you're off social media all day, you're just doing your things at home, you're getting creative, you're taking care of your plants, you're going outside for walks. Maybe you need that. Another way you can date yourself and eventually fall in love with yourself yourself is by positive self-talk. I am big on this, and this is something that I practice every day, every minute, because as I mentioned, we tend to be our own self critics and worst enemies, but you have to get to that point where you catch yourself. You have to catch yourself. If you find yourself telling yourself, oh my god, Wangui, you're so dumb, no, reverse that and say, oh my god, Wangui, you're so smart, look at you, you're doing such an amazing job, you're showing up, you're working on yourself, you're improving yourself. Normalize positive talk. When you find yourself bashing yourself for something that you did, forgive yourself. Tell yourself, you know what, I didn't know this was going to hurt me, but now that I know, I am going to do better. It's really, really important if you're trying to cultivate self-love and if you're trying to improve yourself. You can't be drinking wine and preaching water, or the other way around. I don't know how that quote goes but you can't be preaching water and drinking wine. And in this situation, you're trying to build self-love, so why would you be hateful towards yourself? The other way you can date yourself and eventually fall in love with yourself is by practicing gratitude. I am big on this as well, and I know sometimes, you know, it might feel like, oh yeah, but we're grateful. Like when we pray, we tell God we are grateful, and when we write our gratitude list, we can write a million things that we're grateful, but it's really, really the feeling. Most of these things that we're doing are geared towards the feeling, not about how they look. It's not about filling that page with a gratitude journal. It's not about how you look when you work out, and you know, of course those things matter to some extent, but mainly what you need to focus on is the feeling, because if you really focus about how things look, then you get used to them looking a certain way and then you stop trying. But if you're chasing a feeling, you will always want to feel that good positive feeling that you get from doing something. For me, this has to be with journaling. When I write my gratitude list, I make it so special. I sit and reflect about the things that I'm grateful for. It's not about writing 100 things that I'm grateful for. It's about really paying attention to the 3 or the 2 things that I'm really grateful for that day. It could have been maybe a new campaign that I got. I sit and really think about my journey towards getting this campaign and stay in that attitude of gratitude. If it's about, you know, work and I crashed a certain goal, then I will sit and really think about that. If I am grateful for my mom, then I'll sit and think about my journey with my mom and think about what she has done for me and what I have done for her and all those things. You get my point? Gratitude journals are really important because they help you build contentment and you stop chasing things that you don't have and start appreciating the ones that you have. And that's a mindset shift in itself. Now that I have shared a few points on how you can date yourself and fall in love with yourself, I have some few solo dates ideas to share with you so that you can get to know where to start if you're starting on this journey, or if you're already on this journey, you can get some additional tips for you. We will get to this quickly because I don't want this video to be too long. Solo date ideas you can pick up are: dress up and take yourself out on a fancy date, shower with your nice shower gels, wear that cute dress, wear your makeup, carry your bag, wear your heels, go to a restaurant, sit and enjoy a fancy meal, finish eating and go home. If you get to a point where you're comfortable sitting at a restaurant alone without distractions, without being on your phone, you're actually just sitting, eating your food and observing your environment, you've unlocked a high level of self-love and you should keep up. Another solo date idea is spending time in nature. Go out for picnics, go out for walks, go out and spend time in a forest near you if you have forest. If you live around Kiambu Road, Limuru Road, that doesn't make sense. Go cycle outside, go sit outside in the grass, remove your shoes and step on the grass. That is actually so healing that nowadays I am just looking for places I can just remove my shoes and stand on bare ground. There's actually a whole study about it. I'm going to find a link and leave it in the description box about grounding and about earthing. So when you step on bare ground, the earth sends electrons to your skin and into your body, and that gives some sort of a calming feeling and it helps to deal with anxiety. I'm going to leave that link. You can go and read more about it, but time in nature is so healing, and it's another way you can date yourself. If you don't want to go outside but you want to spend quality time with yourself, you can set up a movie night at home with snacks, with a drink, with pizza, whatever you like. You can just sit down and enjoy a movie or a series all night, and really just keep your phone away and enjoy the movie, eat your snacks, and get into what the movie is about, and just spend that quality time with yourself. If you're a movies person, then you can book yourself a movie. You can go to a movie theater, sit down and watch a movie, get your popcorn, get your juice, get something nice, dress up, go to the movies, and then pass by the supermarket, grab yourself some snacks, or pass by the florist, get yourself some flowers and go home. That's another way you can date yourself. Speaking of flowers, buying your flowers is just so underrated. I don't even know why people don't talk about this a lot, but buying yourself flowers is one of the ways you show yourself that you love yourself. Really, I always have flowers in my house. Well, not always, but I try to get flowers at least twice a month. And my current bouquet, let me show you. This is my current bouquet. It's so beautiful. It has mums and roses, and I had to get like the cutest for Valentine's. And just looking at flowers in the morning when I wake up does something to me. I don't understand what that is, but I feel like the beauty of flowers remind me of the beauty in my life. The smell and the scent of them, it's just so calming. It's calming. Me having flowers, it's not just about an aesthetic and just having something cute in my house. It does much more that I can even talk about. So yeah, buy yourself flowers. Have a pamper session at home. I have talked about this over and over. Take your time in the shower, buy the shower gels, buy the scrubs and the exfoliating gloves, wash your hair, scrub your feet, scrub your skin, and take time to moisturize your skin. Just set up a spa at home and really soak in that moment. Another solo date idea is lighting a candle, sitting down and writing yourself a love letter. I did that in the morning. Today is Valentine's, and I had said I'm going to write myself a love letter on Valentine's. So I have just written myself a love letter, and you can too. Just make it special, cozy up in a blanket. If it's cold, if it's warm, get yourself a cold drink and sit down and really spoil yourself with all the words that you want to spoil yourself with. Another solo date idea is cooking yourself a nice meal. I do this at least once a week. I go on Google, I search for recipes with the things I have in my house, and then I just create a meal from the recipe. Sometimes I'll tweak the recipes, and sometimes I'll follow exactly what the recipe says, and it makes me feel so good. It makes me feel that I am taking care of myself, and that I am also nurturing my creativity, and that I am fulfilling myself by doing stuff for myself. Yeah, there's something about learning a new skill that builds self-confidence. I have been taking classes on Skillshare, by the way, and I will share more about the classes that I am taking in a vlog soon. But I have been learning how to design websites. I have said here before that I am not techie at all. Techie stuff just annoy me. I am not able to just understand the whole thing, but I understand that for me to grow and for me to thrive in my career, I need to learn these skills. So I have been taking websites building classes, and I am doing pretty well. I have 6 classes, and so far I have done half of the first one. So it's going to take me quite some time, but I am committed and dedicated to learning. So for you, it could be dancing. For you, it could be coloring. For you, it could be writing. Whatever that is, take on that new skill, and at the end of it, or by the time you're mastering this skill, you will feel so good about yourself. Oh, this is a favorite of mine. Have a state of self meeting. This is so interesting. I do this on Sundays when I want to catch up with myself and just understand how my week was. What did I do? What did I not do? Where can I improve? How did I win? Where and how and all that. I have a state of myself meeting. And I do this even daily, because I do have daily check-ins where I have conversations with myself and what's going on in my mind and what I'm feeling and what I am not feeling, all of that. So you can have these meetings to catch up with yourself and to stop burying the things that you buried. Remember, we said you might be feeling uncomfortable because you're burying some things. Now, if you want to get out of that, then have your state of self meeting. Sit down with yourself with a notebook or your phone, your notes app, whatever is easier for you. sit down and talk to yourself, have conversations with yourself, really evaluate what's going on in your life and assess the situations in your life. Is it work? Is it relationships? Is it family? Is it health? Another solo date idea is booking a facial or a massage. I do facials once a month. I go to Thrive Beauty Spa, and as you can see, my skin has really improved because I made this a commitment to be going to the spa at least once a month to get my facial. For you, it can be a massage just for relaxation purposes, but if you want to work on your skin and you want to, you know, improve the texture of your skin, then I highly recommend you take facials and you add them to your monthly maintenance routine. Yeah, but just even for relaxation, facials and massages are really good to solo dates. Another solo date idea is a mental health day. A mental health day is where you get off social media, delete the apps even, stay away from all these distractions and all the noise that we have online and even on TV, and just spend time with yourself. Spend time with yourself, maybe running errands or at home relaxing, taking naps, you know, reading, organizing your house, cleaning your space. Those are the kinds of things you do on a mental health day. Sometimes I will just zone out for like 2 hours and just stay with my thoughts and listen to what I am thinking about and really go into my delusional world and think, and that's very okay, and that's actually recommended if you are trying to deal with stuff or you're trying to ground yourself. It's a very important thing you can do. Another one, and one that I love so much, is organizing myself a dance party. I will look for a playlist on YouTube mostly because I want to learn the dances and I want to see what those guys are doing and then I will have a drink, maybe Friday night, and just dance, look silly and stupid, but I feel good. I feel good when I have my dance parties, and I like to do this in my follicular phase where I have a lot of energy to expel and a lot of vibes and I'm feeling happy and the world is all mine. I host my dance parties then. But in my luteal phase where my energy is low, which I am in right now, my energy is starting to dip. Now I can do my other self-care things like shower routines and pamper sessions and massages and all of that. But when my energy is high, best believe I'm throwing myself a dance party. Another solo date idea is organizing your space. I know this sounds just basic, but there's so much that you can get from organizing your space, decluttering your closet, organizing your kitchen cabinets, you know, just getting rid of the notebooks that you don't need in your space. That in itself is a solo date. You are cleaning up energies and vibes and things that are not sparking joy, and creating space for those that will come and that will create joy in the future. Another solo date idea, and this is free for you to fill in, is to do something that makes you proud. When you do that one thing, you feel so proud of yourself. What is that one thing? Then write it down or take a mental note and do this as often as you can. For me, the things that make me proud, I'm trying to think. One, when I show up for my physical health, that really makes me proud because it's an area I really struggle with. I struggle with workouts, I struggle with exercising, I don't even go to the gym because of my social anxiety. But when I do that one walk or when I do that one dance in the house, I feel so proud of myself. And lately I have been showing up in that area because I realized that for me to fully love myself, I need to be doing things that make my body feel healthy and become healthy, and exercise is a part of it. So I cannot ignore that. Yes, my diet is nice, I eat healthy, I have my fruits, I have my water, I have my veggies, I eat a lot of protein, I have a balanced meal, but my body needs movement for it to be healthy. I'd say working out makes me really proud of myself, and that's why I am trying to do it as much as possible so that I can get that feeling of being proud of myself. So for you, it can be anything. It can be, you know, cooking yourself that healthy meal. It can be talking to people that you've been ignoring. It can be anything. Whatever makes you proud, take a mental note and do that as many times as possible. Another solo date is having a meeting with yourself, more like a state of self meeting, but a meeting where you're only celebrating your milestones. You're not calling yourself out, you're not bashing yourself, you're not thinking about the things you should have done or did not. This time you're just celebrating things that you have achieved, the moments that you've showed up, the things that you have worked through. Yeah, this is so important. It's so introspective, but it's really important. So that's it from me today regarding solo dating and falling in love with yourself. If you have been on this journey, please leave us some tips down in the comment section. Let us know what you're doing to love yourself. Let us know what you're doing to solo date. Let us know what you're feeling about this whole thing. Let us know the hurdles you've come across, the challenges you've had to deal with on your self-love journey, so that the rest of us can learn from you and take some tips from you. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you check out my other self-care videos. I am going to leave links in the description box for you to go and watch if you are on a self-improvement journey. I hope those videos help you, and if they do, make sure you leave me your comments and let me know about that. Also leave me suggestions of what you would love to hear from me. I want to do more sit down videos this year so that we can have this deep and authentic and relatable chats, so that we can learn from each other and get value from interacting, right? Yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you next time. Bye.